We continue now at the top of Daf Tzadi Tesam and Aleph and Mesechet Yevamos. This is Yevamos Daf 99a. The Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a Tosefta, Yesh choletz le'imo misafek, la'achoso misafek, levito misafek. There are cases where a person will have to do chalitza with his mother because of a doubt, with his sister because of a doubt, with his daughter because of a doubt. Rashi says, and even though these cases are all situations of some of the 15 women that generally they're pater from chalitza and from yivam, because again, they're situations of arayis. Nevertheless, there are cases where you're going to have to do chalitza misafek. And the Tosefta continues, Ketzad, how so? Imo v'isho acheres. Let's say you have a situation of his mother, and there's another woman. V'lahen shnei zacharim. And they both have two children, two male children. In other words, those are vadai children. Each one knows who the mother is. But then they go ahead and they have two more boys, and this time they have the two boys in a cave, and they have no idea which child belongs to whom. Uva b'na shelzu. Now the son of this one, meaning the one that is certain, the son of this one comes along. V'nasa imo shelzeh, marries the mother of the other one. Uv'na shelzu, and the son of the other one, nasa imo shelzeh, marries the mother of the other child. So now you have a situation where each one's certain child marries the other woman. Umezu below banim. Now these two men, they die without any children, and so now both his mother and the other woman, they're both going to be widows, and they're both going to fall to Yibam, but he has no idea which one is his mother and which one is the other one. So then we say zecholitz l'shtein v'zecholitz l'shtein. Each one is going to have to do chalitza with both women, because each one doesn't know, maybe this really is a woman that I have to do chalitza with, because maybe it's not my mother, and maybe it really is the widow of my brother. Nimtza kol echad v'echad cholitz limo. It comes out that every single one is doing chalitza with his mother misafik because of the doubt. Lachosu misafik said, how could you come up with a case of his sister out of a doubt? How so? The following case. Imo v'isha acheres sheyoldu shtei nekevos b'mechva. Let's say you have a situation where his mother and another woman, so they have two girls, they have two baby girls, and again, it's in a hidden area where it's not possible to know which girl belongs to which mother. Uvo acheyen shalom me'osaim. Now comes along their brothers, and the brothers are paternal brothers, but they're not maternal brothers. V'nasum, and they go ahead and they marry them. Umezu b'lobanim, and they die without any children. So now cholitz l'shtei, and now you're going to have to do chalitza with both of them. Nimtza cholitz lachoso misafik. It comes out he's doing chalitza with his sister out of a doubt. And finally, the Tosefta says, Levito misafik said, how could you come out with a case of his daughter in a situation of doubt? So ishto v'isha acheres, let's say it's his wife and another woman, sheyoldu shtei nekevos b'mechva, that again they give birth to two girls, and it's in a situation where it's a hidden situation where they do not know which girl belongs to whom. Uvo achein v'nasum umesu below banim. Now their brothers come along and marry them, and they die without children. So it's going to be exactly that case. Zecholetz levito misafik, v'zecholetz levito misafik. This one will have to do chalitza with his daughter because of a doubt, and this one will have to do chalitza with his daughter because of the doubt. And Rashi over here explains, Imo v'isha acheres, you have a situation of his mother and another woman, sheyoldu shnei zacharim b'mechva, again they have two boys, and it's in a hidden area, they can't determine which boy belongs to whom, v'uechad mehen, and he happens to be one of those children. V'lahen shnei zacharim v'adoim, now it happens to be also that they have two children, two boys, this mother and the other woman, and they can identify who belongs to whom. Kagon, for example, the case could be like this. Rachel eshes Yaakov shahaya lo Yosef mimenu. Rachel was the wife of Yaakov, and she has a child, Yosef. V'chano eshes Ruven shahaya lo Chetzron mimenu. And Chana, the wife of Ruven, so she has a child named Chetzron. V'chazru v'yoldu shnei zacharim b'mechva. Then they go ahead and they have two more boys, and again, this happens in an area where they cannot determine who belongs to whom. It happens in a hidden area. Vamesu, and then Vamesu Yaakov v'Ruvein. Now what happens is that Yaakov and Ruvein, the original husbands of Rachel and Chana, they die. Uba Yosef b'nashal Rachel. Now Yosef, who was the son of Rachel, he comes along, v'nasa Chana, and he marries Chana, imo shel Chetzron, who's the mother of Chetzron. V'Chetzron nases Rachel. Now Chetzron, he marries Rachel. Vamesu, and then they die. Vamesu Yosef v'Chetzron. So then Yosef and Chetzron die. V'navlu lifnei hataruvos. And now the two widows, they fall to these two children who they don't know exactly who belongs to whom. Rachel lifnei b'nashal Chana shu achi Chetzron. Rachel falls to the son of Chana, whoever that is, who happens to be the brother of Chetzron. V'Chana lifnei b'nashal Rachel shu achi Yosef. And Chana falls to the son of Rachel, whoever that is, who's the brother of Yosef. Umitoch shein yadua mi b'no umi Yevamot. Now we cannot identify who is her son and who is actually the brother-in-law. So tzricha chalitza mishnei, and she's going to need chalitza from both of them. Nimsa kol echad v'echad choletz le'imo misafik. It comes out that each one is going to do chalitza with his mother because of this doubt. And Rashi over here explains the case of Achosu Misafik, Hachi Garsinan Lachosu Misafik, the case of his sister from a doubt. Ketzad Havso, Imo V'isha Acheres Sheyoldu Shtei Nekevos B'mechva. You have a case of his mother and another woman. They give birth to two girls in a cave. They can't determine which girl belongs to whom. V'yamdu Shnei Achim in Oav, and now two of his brothers, his paternal brothers, get up. This is a slightly different girsa than the girsa in our Gemara. Rashi will address our girsa, but his paternal brothers get up, V'nasim, and marry them. So Choletz L'Shtei, and now he has to do Chalitza with both of the wives. Nimtza Choletz Lachosu Misafik. It comes out he's doing Chalitza with his sister because of the doubt. Kach Shnuya B'Tosefta Imo Sheyolda Mishacher Shenasa Lachar Misasava V'Yolda Mishacheres Shtei in Nekevos. In other words, he had his mother gave birth to him from another man. His father died. She goes ahead and she marries somebody else, and together with another woman they have two girls. Ve'ein Yadua Ezu Bas Lezeim. We don't know which girl belongs to which mother. In other words, there are two girls over here. One of them is his maternal sister. Now this guy also has two brothers who are paternal brothers. And now these two brothers, they're only his brothers from the father's side, so they are not related at all to his maternal sisters. And they go ahead, these two brothers marry the two girls, Hamuravos, who are mixed up. So in other words, one of his paternal brothers has married his maternal sister, but we don't know which one married his maternal sister, because we don't know which girl is his maternal sister. Now both of the husbands die, and now these two girls, they fall before this man for Yibum. Happens to be one of them is his maternal sister. Now if you could identify her, of course she wouldn't require chalitza. But now that he doesn't recognize her, so they both need chalitza. Rashi now addresses our girsa. Lishnachrin, another version. Uvo achei and shalom meyosa aim v'nosam. His brothers who are not from that mother come and marry. Achav shel Ruvain nasa achas v'achav shel Chetzron nasa achas. According to this version, the brother of Ruvain marries one girl and the brother of Chetzron marries one girl. And so now Ruvain is not sure if his brother married his maternal sister. So Ruvain choletz le'eshes achiv, because Ruvain now has to do chalitza with the wife of his brother v'shem achosui, and he doesn't know whether this is his maternal sister. It's possible she is, it's possible she's not. V'chein Chetzron, the same thing happens with Chetzron. Zu shamati v'libi megamgim ba. Rashi says, this is what I heard, but I don't like this pshat. Why? Because in this case that you're setting up, he's doing chalitza with a woman who might be his sister, but she might not be his sister. But the case of the Gemara was that he's doing chalitza, and for sure he's doing with his sister, but he doesn't know which one is his sister. If this was the proper girsa, so then the Gemara should have said this one's doing chalitza to a woman who might be his sister, and this one is doing chalitza to a woman who might be his sister. But when you say to his sister misafik, that implies that he for sure did chalitza with his sister because of a doubt. Now he doesn't know which one was his sister, but he certainly has done chalitza with his sister, so that's why Rashi prefers the first version. And Rashi over here continues and explains the case of the daughter, Ishto v'isha acheres, his wife and another woman, meaning to say, Eshes Ruvain v'Eshes Kalev. Let's say you have the wife of Ruvain and the wife of Kalev, Sheyoldu Shtei Nekevos B'mechva. Again, they give birth to two girls in an area they can't determine which belongs to whom. Nimtza so achas bito, so comes out one of these girls is his daughter. Ubo Shnei Achei Ruvain, now two brothers of Ruvain come along, v'nasim, and marry these girls. Nimtza Ruvain choletz lebito misafik. It comes out that if these husbands die, so Ruvain's going to have to do chalitza to his daughter out of a doubt, because he doesn't know which one is really someone he has to do chalitza to, and which one is his daughter. Sheshtei and tzrichos chalitza, both of them will require chalitza. Obviously, had he recognized which one is his daughter, then she would be pater. There would be no need for chalitza. Let's say it's the two brothers of Kalev that marry these girls, then Kalev's going to be in the same situation, he's going to have to do chalitza to his daughter out of a doubt. Again, Rashi has an alternative girsa which he rejects for the same reason as the above Rashi. V'loshen Mori achav shel Ruvain nasa achas v'achav shel Kalev nasa achas. According to Loshen Mori, so the brother of Ruvain married one girl, the brother of Kalev married another girl. Ruvain choletz le'eshes achiv. Now Ruvain does chalitza with the wife of his brother. V'afal bisha safek bito. According to this girsa, even though she is a safek, that she may be his daughter. V'chein Kalev, you can come with the same case with Kalev. V'lav hainu nami choletz levito misafek. Again, Rashi points out that would not be called doing chalitza to his daughter because of a doubt. Ela choletz l'safek bito. That would be called doing chalitza to a girl who is a safek if it is his daughter. So it's a slightly different case. So again, Rashi prefers the first girsa. And the Gemara continues, Tanya, we learned in a Braisa, Hoyer Rabbi Meir Omer, Rabbi Meir would say as follows, Ish v'isha comes to a man and a woman, Pa'amim shemolidin chamesh umo. Sometimes they can give birth to 5 different nations, meaning to say 5 different kinds of lineage can come from them. Keitzad, how so? Yisrael shalokach eved v'shivcha min ashuk. Let's say Yisrael, he purchases an eved and a shivcha from the marketplace, v'lohen shnei banim, and they had 2 children already previous. V'neskayer echad mehen, and one of those children becomes a convert. Nimtza echad ger v'echad oved kochavim. So now you have a situation here where one of their children is a ger, and one is an oved kochavim, one is an idol worshipper. Now hitvilan l'shem avdus. Now the Yisrael goes along and he immerses the eved and the shivcha to turn them into avodim. V'nizkeku zeh lo zeh, and then they have relations with each other and they have another child. Harekan ger v'oved kochavim v'eved. Now they have 3 children, a ger, an oved kochavim, and an eved. Now the Yisrael comes along, shichres ha-shifcha, he frees the shifcha, uba ha-eved, and then the eved has relations with the shifcha again, and they have another child. So harekan ger v'oved kochavim v'eved u'mamzer. You now have a ger, an oved kochavim, an eved, and you also have a mamzer, because in a situation where he freed the shifcha, she was now a Yisraelis, and she has relations with an eved, so that child's going to be a mamzer. Then Shichra Shneim, then he goes ahead and he frees both of them, meaning he frees the Eved as well. So now they're Yisraelim, V'Yision Zelazen, they marry one another, and they have a child. That child's going to be a Yisrael. Harekan Ger, V'Oved Kochavim, V'Eved, U'Mamzer, V'Yisrael. You now have a situation of a Ger, Oved Kochavim, Eved, Mamzer, and Yisrael. That is 5 different kinds of lineage. And the Gemara says, Mai Kamashmal, and what's the Chiddush with this? The Chiddush is that according to Rabbi Meir, Oved Kochavim, V'Eved, Habo al Bas Yisrael, if you have an Oved Kochavim or an Eved that have relations with the Bas Yisrael, Havlad Mamzer, the child is going to be a Mamzer according to Rabbi Meir. And Rashi over here says, Echad Oved Kochavim v'Echad Ger, you have a situation again where they had children before they were purchased by the Yisrael, and then one of them converts, so the halach is one of them is going to have the status of an Oved Kochavim, and one is going to be a Ger. Debonim sheyolda ba'oda tachas yedei ha'Oved Kochavim ha'mocher, because the children that they have while they are still under the control of the non-Jew, who is the owner who sells them, so einon avodim, those children do not have the status of avodim. That's why one is just considered an Oved Kochavim, and one is considered a ger. The kaimelan ba'choletz mehem tiknu atem konim mehem velohem mikem velohem konim zemizeh. Because that's what it says in Acholitz. It says you can purchase from them slaves, meaning to say you can purchase from them, but they cannot purchase from you, and they cannot purchase from each other. So meaning to say, again, those children are not going to have the status of slaves. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, Yesh mocheres aviv lahagbo simo ksubasa. There's a situation where a person will sell his own father in order to allow his mother to collect her ksuba. Keitzad, how so? Yisrael lokach eved v'shivcha min ashuk. Let's say a Yisrael, a Jew, he purchases an eved and a shivcha from the marketplace, v'lohem ben, and they have a son. They had a son previously. V'shichras hashivcha. Then he goes ahead and he frees the shivcha. V'nas, and he marries her, meaning the master ends up marrying the shivcha, who is now a Yisraelis. Then he goes ahead and he says that all of his property is going to go to her son. Now, among his property is also this Eved, and the Eved is the father of the son, meaning to say that he is saying, the master is saying, that when he dies, the father is going to be inherited by the son. The son will then own his own father. So Nim Sazeh, so it will come out that this son over here, Mocher Saviv, might have to sell his father, Lahagvos Li'imo Ksubas, in order to give the mother the Ksuba money. In other words, if the master dies, there's going to be money that's owed to his widow, who is the mother, and so therefore the son might have to sell his father, who is now his slave, in order to pay off the ksuba of his mother. And the Gemara says, "My kamashmal," and what's the chiddush over here? And the Gemara answers, "Kula Rabbi Meir." This entire Tosefta is actually Rabbi Meir. V'avda metaltali. According to that position, the Eved is really considered like metaltal, and there's a machlokas whether avodim are considered like karka, like land, or are they considered like metaltal and like movable property. So the first approach of the Gemara is that the Eved is considered like metaltalin. Umetaltali mishtavli l'chsuba. The chiddush over here would be that even metaltalin can be mishubed for the ksuba. In other words, a person, the mother, let's say over here, is allowed to say that the metaltalin, meaning the Eved, that's also a mishubed. I also have a lien on that property to pay off my ksuba. That's why he's going to have to sell the Eved, his father, in order to pay off the ksuba. V'bai same, and the Gemara says, if you want, we could say another approach to understanding this Tosefta. Hakamash malon avda k'mekarka dami. It might be that this Tosefta holds that avodim are considered like karka, and if avodim are considered like karka, so then it's obvious karka is going to be meshubed for the ksuba. So again, he's going to have to sell the eved, who is his father, in order to pay off the ksuba. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Ha'isha shenisare valda bevlad kalosa. Let's say you have a situation of a woman who her child gets mixed up with the child of her daughter-in-law. We don't know which child is her own child and which child is the child of her daughter-in-law. So higdilu hatarovis. Now what happens is these two boys, they grow up, v'nasu nashim, and they marry women, v'mesu, and then they die. So now again you have a situation where both of these boys die, and we don't know which one is the son of the woman and which one is the son of the woman's daughter-in-law. So the Mishnah says, B'nei Hakala, the actual children of the daughter-in-law, Cholzin v'lo miyavmin. So they have to do chalitza with the widows, and they cannot do yibum. Why? Shu safek eishes achiv, safek eishes achi aviv. Because you have a situation over here where each widow is a safek, whether it's the wife of his brother. Now, if it's the wife of his brother, then of course there would be yibum. But it might be the wife of the brother of his father, and the wife of the brother of one's father, meaning to say the wife of one's uncle, is actually prohibited. So there's no way you can do yibum. The only option is going to be chalitza. Now, B'nei Hazakena, when it comes to the children, the certain children of the older woman, of the mother-in-law, so they, ocholz and omiyavmin, they can actually do either one. They can either do chalitza or yibum. Why? Shesafik eishes achiv, v'yeshes ben achiv, because with each woman, it's a suffix whether she's the wife of his brother, in which case there's yibum, or she might be the wife of the son of his brother, which is a perfectly permissible marriage, and therefore both chalitza or yibum are going to be options. And the Mishnah continues, Mesu Aksherim, let's say the children of certain lineage, they're the ones who die, meaning the mother-in-law's son, who we know it's her son, dies, and the daughter-in-law's son, who we know it's her son, dies. So then Hataruva, so then when it comes to the two boys who are mixed up, and we don't know if it's the child of the mother-in-law or the child of the daughter-in-law, so Livnei Hazakena, so to the children of the mother-in-law, Cholzin v'lo miyavmin. So these boys, they have to do chalitza, they cannot do yibum. Why? Shu safik eishes achiv, because again, this individual is a suffix whether it's the wife of his brother, v'yeshes achi aviv, or maybe it's the wife of the brother of his father, in which case it's going to be prohibited, so the only option is chalitza, and there's no option of yibum. But livnei hakala, but when it comes to these individuals who are suffix in relation to the children of the kala, the children of the daughter-in-law, so there we'll say echad choletz v'echad miyavim. So one of them is going to be allowed to do chalitza, and one of them can do yibum, because again, in that situation, it's a situation of a suffix whether it actually is the wife of his brother, or again, maybe it's going to be the wife of the son of his brother, in which case also would be permitted, so yibum would be an option. And the Mishnah continues, Kohenes and Esare Valda Bivlad Shivcha. So let's say you have a Kohenes who her own child and the child of her Shivcha, they get mixed up. Hare Elu Ochlim B'Truma. Both of those children are allowed to have Truma. And the reason is because both the slave of a Kohen and also the child of a Kohen, they're both entitled to Truma. V'cholk and Chelak Echad Begorin. And they take one portion in the granary. And we'll take a look at Rashi over here. Rashi says, Livnei Hakal. Again, the case over here is where the children of the daughter-in-law, the sons of the daughter-in-law died. So now the widows, the question is, what do the children who are doubts, what do they do with these widows? La'eshes ben Hakal Avada, again to the wife of the son of the daughter-in-law. So Echon min Hatarovus, one of the children that was mixed up, Choletz Tchila, he should do Chalitza first. V'yachakach miyavim hasheni, and then the second one can come along and can actually do Yibum with this widow. Again, Miman of Shach, that's going to work either way. Im Yevimtohi, if this is actually his sister-in-law, Hare Tov, so then it's very good. This is actually the wife of his brother, and it's no problem. V'yameshes ben Achiv, now if he happens to have actually been the son of the mother-in-law, and so this is actually the wife of the son of his brother, Hare Chalatz lo Yevama, so the actual Yevama already did, the actual brother-in-law already did Chalitza, Umuteres lo, and she's perfectly permissible to him, because again, a person is allowed to marry the wife of the son of his brother. And then it said again, Ochlin betruma echad kohen v'echad eved kohen. Like we said before, both a kohen and the slave of a kohen are entitled to truma. So therefore, in this case, when the child of the kohenes and the child of her shivcha get mixed up, they're both entitled to truma. And cholk and chelak echad, they get one portion in the granary. Mefarish beGemara. This is going to be explained in the Gemara, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Tzadi Tes Amud Beis.